I will destroy it.
Or so it would have been, if certain modern theories concerning the shape of the world had not proved to be disastrously wrong.
Pleased to welcome you to part 2 of the...
Spodziewałem się zwrotu tego pytania, zapewne pan, że jest Polska.
Hoping Kyron's real, but it's kinda hard to swallow. Same goes for B.O.B., Shaq and Eddie Bravo. Part of me suspects they are faker than Apollo. Bill Jones is Alex Hicks and vice versa flipped it. Charlie's Law reversed it, and Kevin Booth assisted. This isn't just a limerick, I'm pulling back the bank, yo. Mother Nature sent me here exposing all the evil. Surveilled by media, shady and deceitful. Closed my accounts, dumping all the toxic people. People crank my style on a journey to discovery. I put up with the shit, now I need some recovery. Truth sets me free from my own worst enemy. Keep my enemies close, and I study them endlessly. Cancel your classes and the truth will be unblocked. Teach yourself on the net, knowledge is unlocked. Sending in their bots to trap you in the box. Targeted by trolls and followed by the cops. My blood begins to boil, my skin turns to rock. Reminds me why I started and why I'll never stop. Yeah. Reminds me why I started and why I'll never stop.
To reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars, vaccines for your arms, getting like supercharged, caffeinated 8-field scars from rage quit repertoires, no answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours, imposter truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of gish galloping wars, no remedy can save the lost in love with the yarn. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards, soaked in sin with your dude was the light and a new end of cards. Been so long, seems like for love, I'm just too hard, I'm just too hard. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Welcome to the show. If you don't know. Intoxicated hate makes you believe you're spinning in space, while you have no shame or grace. It's a disdainful state I used to contemplate how to save myself from my own self-hate. Wonder why I was even made with a dreadful fate, forced to try and awake with a full plate. No one taught me stay awake or educate. I've had to liberate and fight through hidden gates, but my brother, heaven could never be late, and now rockets, they don't work in space, it's all fake. The show is on Mars, it's a joke, but you're too far gone. Won't be long, we have our song and we march along like streams of knowledge leading to God's holy pond and lives of truth that it's the bomb that sings the song that turns mankind from the wrong. We come in peace with holding on and on, swearing our holy crowns. The earth is flat and probably just won't get along. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. 'cause I don't know. I don't know. Welcome to the show. You don't know. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars? Vaccines for your arms, kids sounding like supercharged, caffeinated hate-filled scars and rage-quit repertoires, answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours, imposted truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of gish gallop and wars. No remedy can save the lost in love with the yarn. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards. Soaked in sin with your dupe as delight and a new hand of cards. Been so long, seems like for love. I'm just too hard, I'm just too hard. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all again soon. Peace, everyone. Write music, do your art, have fun. Yay. Stay focused on that.
Sir?
Waiter, flat.
A flatter.
The first of what he calls his Flat Earth 5.
She looked around. Where are all the flat earthers at? Oh. Yeah, here's the reality. We think the earth is flat.
The earth is in fact flat.
Because flat.
Purposely lying to the masses, and we're really living on a flat earth that you can fall off the end of. No one said you can fall off. Well, if it's flat, then it doesn't go on forever, right?
It goes on to, well,
see what I'm saying? So if you fly on a plane, like if you know.
Yeah, I see all the same stuff on Instagram.
You've been all around the world, right?
I know, but I don't remember going on a curve.
Oh, you play flat. All right.
Even talking about it, that the earth might be flat. Even talking about it, that the earth might be flat.
Well, usually just play flat.
John, just a moment ago, you saw me over there, here to my desk. I like to bring a little carry-on.
Yeah. Oh, you play flat. All right.
Flats, big flathead stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And going 380 miles an hour. What kind of lens do you use on that?
Do it because it doesn't curve. The water always finds its level.
In fact, literally flatter than a pancake.
What'd your teacher do?
A 500 millimeter on a Hasselblad.
Oh, okay.
Now. And
Even talking about it, that the earth might be flat.
Waiter, flat.
The world is flat. They're flat. What is it? They yell at each other all the time. And if I were in conversation with that person, I hope I would say, world is flat. They're flat. What's to the top part? But underneath, what can change me for the better? I should always look to be changed for the better. Each other all the time.
You want to say agitated? I can be aggravated, infuriated, frustrated, vexated, and irritated.
World is flat.
That's not the sale price. It's supposed to be $249.
Terrific. Look, I got a lot of people here.
Thank you. I tell you, I don't think we should let this group loose again until they develop a vaccine for weirdness. I tell you, I don't think we should let this group loose again until they develop a vaccine for weirdness. Awful and an 8 for being very...
Right. Yeah, I was there. I heard the whole thing. Weintraub says radical chemotherapy or she's gonna croak just like that.
Unbelievable.
What are you doing?
Tearing of the middle meningeal artery.
What's your degree in? Dentistry?
How do you explain slow impulse, low respiratory rate, and coma?
Fundoscopic examination.
Fundoscopic examination is unrevealing in these cases.
A simple evacuation of the expanding epidural hematoma will relieve the pressure.
So what's your problem? Acceleration is no longer a constant. Well, then you're just gonna have to take your best shot. Best shot? Yes, Spock.
Привет, civilized world. Stay well. This is Russia from the belly of hell. We know you suffer from coronavirus so hard.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88. Roads? We're going, we don't need roads.
We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week. It's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of...
A string of Peloponnese. I'm glad to hear... A string of Peloponnese? Where do you see that? Right there, a string of Peloponnese. That's a string of polo ponies.
If you're not happy here, you can leave. And that's what I say all the time. That's what I said in a tweet, which I guess some people think is controversial. A lot of people love it, by the way. A lot of people love it. But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining...
Love is gold. 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 Love is. Your love is.
love is gold. 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 Your love is gold. Love is gold. Your love is gold. Love is gold. Love is gold. Love is gold. Your love is gold. Love is gold. Love is gold.
From LG. Life's good.
Hey guys, how do my teeth look? Pretty good? Okay, great. Fluoride in the water might be helping that, but it might also be doing other things. On the planet, it's in seawater. Foods like fish, tea, and gelatin contain it, and it is a naturally occurring substance in minerals. That is to say, it's in all of the rocks because it's everywhere. Fluorine is washed into the water supply during erosion, and then we drink it. Fluoride is just fluorine with an extra electron, and when we see it in toothpaste, food, or drinking water, it's actually sodium fluoride, or in our bodies, it's calcium fluoride. Stuff in the body. Whether it belongs in the drinking water is a complicated question. Stuff in the body. So for the moment, water fluoridation is still a thing, but what do you think of it?
The government doesn't want you to know. The government doesn't want you to know this. The government doesn't want you to.
Lost my faith in science and progress. Lost my faith in science and progress. Lost my faith in science and progress. Lost my faith in science and progress.
I think it's true, actually possible that the world is flat.
Secrets. Secrets. You think you can Photoshop? Think again. And now I think it's time you get.
There's a thing called the internet.
A what?
There's a thing called the internet.
A what?
Alex Jones told Jesse
The Earth is a flat.
that's believable. That's awesome.
The Earth is a flat.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
The Earth is a flat. You understand that?
That's unbelievable.
Earth is a flat.
That's unbelievable.
Do you understand that? And that's the Earth is a flat. The Earth is a flat. The Earth is a flat. The Earth is a flat.
There's a monolith there, a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object that goes around Mars once in 7 hours. When people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there? Well, the universe put it there. If you choose, God put it there.
If you show this publicly, you're open for a lawsuit. Okay?
102.
To what the man says, and he's Wogan.
Was deemed unfit for viewing.
cut and presumably supposed to be destroyed. In the 1970s, the clip clearly shows the shaking.
They didn't try to use against the machine was water.
The Earth is flat.
What? The Earth is flat?
Yes. Stop. What's your proof?
Why not? Because I don't care. Because I have other things on my mind.
They enslaved us with that lie.
They enslave us?
Yes. They did.
Are you from the Matrix?
I'm not, but I know more than you.
Why is flat Earth so meaningful to you?
Because it affects all of us.
Because it affects all of us.
Yes, my friend. They still assault with that lie, my friend.
Yeah.
What, give me?
No.
We will climb this wall with safety and with speed, and we shall then explore the wonders on the other side. Thank you.
Mr. President, honored delegates, ladies and gentlemen,
We shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control. We shall propose, finally, a global systems of communication satellites linking the whole world in telegraph and telephone and radio and television. The day need not be far away when such a system will televise the proceedings of this body to every corner of the world for the benefit of peace.
Kennedy was talking about weather control with confidence. In April of the previous year, the Tyros satellite had been launched from Cape Canaveral and equipped with solar power to send back images of cloud formations. The national press announced that Tyros, quote, opens up new vistas for weather forecasting and control, unquote. But developments in weather control had already been underway. In 1958, the military announced success with weather modification by sending powerful electromagnetic beams into the upper atmosphere using ionospheric heaters like the one at HAARP today. There's a longer article on the history of weather modification in the link below. I advise you to read it, look through it, see the people involved to get a better sense of where we stand on weather modification and even global warming. 1964 cartoon of the Tyros satellite. Little humor. When we predict snow, it snows.
I want to talk about our common responsibilities in the face of a common danger. The events of recent weeks may have helped to illuminate that challenge for some, but the dimensions of its threat have loomed large on the horizon for many years. Whatever our hopes may be for the future, for reducing this threat or living with it, there is no escaping either the gravity or the totality of its challenge to our survival and to our security. A challenge that confronts us in unaccustomed ways in every sphere of human activity. This deadly challenge imposes upon our society two requirements of direct concern, both to the press and to the President. Two requirements that may seem almost contradictory in tone, but which must be reconciled and fulfilled if we are to meet this national peril. I refer first to the need for far greater public information, and second, to the need for far greater official secrecy. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control.
Yeah, I mean, it's laughable what is, tried to pass off as, and you know what's so great now about YouTube and about these video platforms is, back in the day, you got one shot to see this stuff on television, and that was it. I mean, you believed it was true. You saw it once. Maybe you saw it on a rerun. Maybe on the other news channel, they would rerun some of this footage. But now it's all been released, and people have the ability to look at it and to pick it apart and to really think about it. Like we talked earlier about the lunar landing. Now that people have the technology at their fingertips on their laptops to be able to speed up the lunar landing footage. You have the land rover going around, and you have the guys hopping around in slow motion. Speed that up 200%, and it looks like they went out in the desert and filmed that. But here's something that I'm going to tell you as a video guy. Here's why I believe that the lunar landing was faked. Because there is no way you can have a power source that strong at that time in history, and there's no way you could transmit that video signal all the way to Earth. Absolutely 100% not. Let me tell you something. I have if I have a handheld video camera, and I want, and let's say I'm shooting a scene, and the producer wants to see what I'm shooting. So they have a transmitter in their hand, and they have a battery on my camera. The battery that I have is about the size of a brick. It's more square, but it's about the same mass as a brick. And it only lasts for maybe an hour and a half. And that signal only goes a couple 100 feet. Now you're going to tell me that on that teeny little spaceship, with that teeny little camera, they're going to have enough power to transmit a full color video signal all the way down to Earth. And I can also tell you this, that when they promised a full color video signal, the station that broadcasted the lunar landing, they were pissed because they weren't getting raw video feed. What they were getting was called a kineoscope. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that was an editing process used up until the late 1990s. And I've actually seen the kineoscope technology and utilized it when I worked in a film lab, and it's very interesting. Basically, it's an editing tool. So you have a screen, basically it's a television screen, and you shoot that with a film camera. So now it's on 16 millimeter film. So what they did with those videos, in theory, why you see a black and white image of the lunar landing, although they claim the full color videos exist, was what NASA says they did was transmitted the full color video signal, filmed it on a kinescope, black and white on 16 millimeter film, and then released that to the networks. So therefore, it was not a live event, because to get film processed, it takes hours, and it's a whole process that generally takes about 6 hours to complete, even with the most efficient film laboratories. So why would they get this crappy, grainy, black and white film image when they could have broadcasted color, which at the time the networks were pissed that they didn't have the ability to do, that NASA denied them? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The whole kineoscope thing, that's a side note. My thing is, there is no way with that technology and with batteries being as big and as weak and as heavy as they were, you could have broadcast that signal from the moon. impossible.
Do that. Now think about this for a second. Just imagine havoc.
This is why I love Hollow Earth theory, man. You ever get into that shit? Do you ever get into that?
Is that for people to get kicked out of the Flat Earth Society?
Yeah, Flat Earth people look down on Hollow Earthers. But Hollow Earth is, like, to me, my favorite of them all.
This is how things change. Things that you write that are really cool, they kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures and providing the world economy additional time to transition from fossil fuels. This process is also relatively inexpensive. The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion yearly. As promising as it may be, moving forward on SAI would also raise a number of challenges for our government and for the international community. On the technical side, greenhouse gas emission reductions would still have to accompany SAI to address other climate change effects, such as ocean acidification, because SAI alone would not remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. On the geopolitical side, the technology's potential to alter weather patterns and benefit certain regions of the world at the expense of other regions could trigger sharp opposition by some nations. Others might seize on SAI's benefits and back away from their commitment to carbon dioxide reductions. And as with other breakthrough technologies, global norms and standards are lacking to guide the deployment and implementation of SAI and other geoengineering initiatives. Now, I could go on and on and on and on about the things that fascinate me, but rather than talk about them, I thought I'd stop here.
And the rise of sea level, all that extra water is just going to spill over the sides of the flat Earth. Level of acidity, the highest rate of increase of acidity in the ocean in 50 million years. And believe it or not, scientists have the ability to measure that. And that acidity changes the capacity of particularly crustaceans to be able to grow. I've seen tests that show what happens with clams when they're exposed to higher levels of pH, and you see the diminished size of the clams. So lobsters could conceivably lose the hard shell. You can run the list of these challenges. And then none of them exaggerated, except perhaps to that small group of people in America who still block things from happening because they somehow believe that with global climate change and the melting of the ice and the rise of sea level, all that extra water is just going to spill over the sides of the flat Earth. Think about that for a minute, because we got some people at high levels of aspiration who are incapable of mentioning things like climate change and the rise of sea level. All that extra water is just going to spill over the sides of the flat Earth.
Yeah, love truth, hate lies, show proof, open your eyes, no spoof, let me advise, dome roof, look at the skies, no goof, let me define. The flat earth is the truth, no surprise, realise because there ain't no curvature. Check the map, do the math, here's a graph, see the gap, it's a hack, if you laugh then you lack facts, it's flat and that's because there ain't no curvature. It's a ship out of sight, on the edge, get a grip of your vid, take a clip, zoom in tight, bring it back, it's alright, and that's because there ain't no curvature. Coriolis effect is a bogus defect, if the earth was a jet then we get wet, upset, and that's because there ain't no curvature. Take the moon and the stars, it's a farce if the stars track the moon, how bizarre, but they do too. Mars, And that's because there ain't no curvature. Here's a pic, Earth strip, they admit, composite, it's a fake, take the mic, all the hate, take it back. And that's because there ain't no curvature. Satellites don't exist, I persist, it's a myth with a twist, get it right, I insist. And that's because there ain't no curvature. See the map, it's a flat, UN flag, it's a tag, it's a gag, to recap, ball, clap, trap, crap. And that's because there ain't no curvature. They begin with the spin, it's a sin, better in the loony bin. Drink your gin and chin chin, go spin. And that's because there ain't no curvature. No orbit, full earth is the misfit, bit by bit, must admit, science guys are nitwit pricks. And that's because there ain't no curvature.
The high tides, the neuralizer.
But the legs don't get high, then the sciences lie. Why? That's because there ain't no curvature. Parallax was the guy, took an axe to the lie. See,
that word takes on new meaning. It don't mean what you're thinking. It means full spectrum dominance for real. And you won't be born unless you have a function to fulfill. A scientific dictatorship's more efficient, cause we ain't gotta waste effort to entertain your pathetic bitches. We just stick a chip in you. We don't particularly care. Immerse yourself, soon you'll be able to Google Earth yourself. Real time with no computer, we will make humans super. It's the ultimate Trojan horse. Once you marry the beast, there ain't no divorce. We got the populace brainwashed, all in a state of shock.
You will always have a special place in my heart.
An identification implant. Come with us, rebel.
The populace brainwashed, all in a state of shock. We got the military industrial complex, food squad all on your block. And if you happen to become aware that we don't particularly care, cause we got the neutron bombs that instantly suck the oxygen right out of your air.
Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, there would be martial law in America.
The Earth is flat. He went on to say that he's seen a lot of things that have been told to him as a fact, but turned out to be completely fake. Max, the Earth is flat. Your reaction to Mr. Irving?
He's got to be trolling everyone.
Doesn't believe in dinosaurs, apparently. Stephen A?
He had to be joking around. I mean, Kyrie Irving is not somebody that I find to be, you know, lacking intelligence or anything like that. He's getting the benefit of the doubt from me.
I think they teach at Duke.
Yeah, no, the Earth is flat.
Oh, here we go.
The Earth is flat. Earth is flat.
With the flat Earth thing, is that something that you truly believe?
Doesn't matter. The flat Earth.
You were asked again about it.
Yeah.
Welcome to science class.
It doesn't matter. That's what I'm asking.
Well,
that doesn't matter to you, like that I think that the world is flat, or I think that the world is round.
I mean, you.
Or is it like just the fact that we're sitting here asking, you know, answering questions? Do I think the world is flat?
And you said this, so that's why it matters. Everybody wants to know.
Okay.
Do you believe?
I'm gonna believe what I believe, and then, you know.
Kyrie Irving.
Earth is flat.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The Earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
listen,
it's not.
There's 3 ways to manipulate the mind. What you read, what you see, and what you hear. Have you looked outside of Atlanta lately and seen all these buildings? So you mean to tell me that China is under us? China is under us.
If you keep they are under us.
That's what they tell you when you're a kid?
The world is
if
flat.
you dug straight through your backyard, you can get to China.
No, you can't. The world
is not flat.
Yes, it is.
We've seen the Earth.
No, we haven't seen anything.
Yes, you have. You've seen it from satellite imagery.
Oh, satellite imagery that could be drawn and made up.
So here's the audio of the
research on my own and figuring out that there is no real picture of Earth. Like there's not one picture of Earth, and we haven't been back to the moon.
It shouldn't even be brought up. I have it, guys. This is I have it. You got it. Kyrie Irving lost a bet, and he is trolling all of us. He is trolling all.
Though, do you think that really he's
trolling all of us? And
what does that mean if he is?
I hope it was a dare.
I think you can be smart, Scotty, right? And say you want to be a critical thinker and intellectually curious without attacking hardcore science.
Science, you're right. I don't know. I don't get it.
Right?
You know, last thing I thought he was talking about basketball. I thought it had something to do with playing on the same surface.
Right.
The ground is flat. Now,
How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That was a joke about the world being flat, right?
Was it? Seems flat to me. When you look,
yeah,
it seems flat, right?
Kai, real quick. Okay, real quick. Do you believe the Earth is round or flat?
That was what we just heard Kyrie Irving declaring, you know, the Earth is flat.
The Earth is flat. But you go around the room and you talk to almost anybody. Was 9/11 an inside job? Who shot JFK? Like I'm saying, you can go through how many people believe that we landed on the moon, and how many people really and truly believe that the moon landing did not happen. But I'm not here to talk about what's real or what's not. I'm asking to talk about what people believe and how many people believe that we did not land on the moon. Lots of people believed it.
He believes the world is flat. Is that a subject that you covered with him? Did you?
The flat Earth theory.
Why do you say that?
Be flat, could not be flat. There could be 12 continents. How would you know?
Because I think that, or because I believe that the world is flat and you think the world is round. They created exactly that.
Hey, yo, Mike. Where's my lock? What stuff is this in my lock?
Stepper stuff.
You put my stuff on Skid Row. You put my stuff in a bag on Skid Row.
The Earth is flat. I could get 50 PhD scientists around the world to say the Earth is flat.
And this doesn't help matters.
Well, we thought right around the corner, and we always say that, right around the corner, we're going to see that. But there was really good reasons for thinking, because in fact, the Earth is flat. It's beginning to be embarrassing.
And of course, the critics say they're cherry picking the 16. It's like basically saying the Earth is 25 whatever miles long or 17 feet long, whatever you want to choose.
No, exactly. If you don't want to play it down, but we know the Earth is flat, and teaching kids 4.5 years old the Earth is flat, to say the Earth is flat, to tell us what direction we go in, would that be a controversy? The best example is something called supersymmetry, which says for every particle we measure in nature, the Earth is flat. There actually should be another particle we haven't yet seen.
Saying in this flat Earth. Oh, yeah. And if the Earth was flat, saying in this flat Earth. Oh, yeah. And if the Earth was flat, how does someone fly from Japan to the United States? They don't. Here's another one. Have they ever thought of time zones? That wouldn't be the case.
The Earth is flat, I know that.
Saying in this flat Earth.
And they can put whatever they want on its pages. Anything. Used to be, we thought the world was flat.
Some people still do.
Yes, and they publish books about it. Or that the moon landing was a hoax. I believe there's also a book claims the world was created in 7 days.
You got that tattoo figured out yet?
It'd be easier if it was flat. Big and flat. It needs to be flat.
I don't know what all this fuss is about. I could handle it.
Okay.
So I do flat Earth a bit now.
I can control it. I could stop. If I wanted to. Ground
ground control to Major Tom.
Wasn't there a time when the brightest minds in the world believed that the Earth was flat?
Or flat, 66%. 5% always thought the world was flat, but 4% always believe the world is flat.
We're a pear-shaped oblate spheroid. See the schoolroom globes, the geographic globes, and you rub your finger over Nepal and you get the Himalayas. Yeah, and you get the Rockies. And you say, oh, that is a gross exaggeration.
At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth. If you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball, above this beach ball, above this beach ball, above this beach ball.
Everyone is taught these lies when they go to school, but I won't go back to the ball. Then they show you as CGI.
Hello, Forte High School. Здравствуйте.
Today, I'm thrilled to sign a new order, taking the next step to create.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
To me, a frontier.
I don't remember seeing any of that decade.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
Real good engineering.
Said that the world is flat.
The flat Earth. This how anybody new I meet, I ask them one question: do you think the Earth is round or flat?
It's true.
What?
The Earth is flat.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The Earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's
not. Yes, it is.
And we now know that these mosquitoes can get Zika virus very easily from biting somebody, and the world is flat.
If they say flat about these flat, stop believing everything that you read. Stop believing everything people tell you. Everything NASA tells y'all when it's really flat.
When said the Earth is flat, I was like, okay, this is amusing. This is something Tila would do. But when B.O.B. said it, and I've interviewed B.O.B. lots of times. Intelligent guy, good head on his shoulders.
Brought to you by Head & Shoulders.
He has this purified water system. Look at all of these things.
We're going to be here for a year, and Gennady, in just a few weeks, is going to set the record for the most days in space.
Books contain ideas which can shape our planet, and let's face it, right now our planet is badly out of shape.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go. The Earth is a closed system. The Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go. If you had a political faction that insisted that we teach that the world is flat. Extraordinary claims. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Pseudoscience. The difference between pseudoscience and regular science claims the world is flat is whether or not you can test it. The flat Earth did. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. The world, the flat Earth did. The flat Earth did. The flat Earth did. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Flat Earth did. The flat Earth did. The flat Earth did. The flat Earth did. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
Planet forever.
I mean, I say that when it comes to the Earth is flat. Surprise was Barack Obama in 08.
They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society. Of the Flat Earth Society.
If I say that the world is round and someone else says it's flat, that's worth reporting.
The Earth is flat. That's going to change some shit. You know what I'm saying?
And you can see the stars. It's not black and white. I mean, it's black, but there's all kinds of little polka dots. There's all the stars there. The cool thing is
about you can see it during the day.
Intervening atmosphere. The heavens are 10 times as bright, stars 10 times as numerous.
because there's no atmosphere to block the light.
It's not a black void. I mean, it's black, but there's all kinds of little polka dots.
Y'all are being lied to. The Earth is flat.
First in space, have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void? It's black, but there's all kinds of little polka dots. Moons?
Yeah, to the audience.
Way up high, maybe 30 or 40 degrees above the horizon, perpendicular to the horizon, perpendicular to the horizon.
Being able to look into the black void.
Being able to look into the black void.
Yeah, to the audience.
Big,
velvet sheen.
Being able to look into the black void.
To it.
Yeah, to the audience. Yeah, because you can see,
Why did you want to be an astronaut?
That it might be neat to be an astronaut.
Being able to look into the black void.
Say, wow, I want to do that too. In time, so I put in an application because that's what I like to do. You can do, and we have very little thought as to the safety involved with flying airplanes. But it wasn't always that way. And it took people who were willing to accept some risk and work in a risky field to make airplanes and the whole aviation area as safe as it is today.
I'll answer the question.
This is flat to me.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this.
See the hair?
These results are fictitious. They are fake to scan.
About being a stress-free kind of guy. Jeff. Tell him thank you.
Hey, man, you ever look into flat Earth?
Lower the globe! You look like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
See the hair?
I don't know. We're going to have to do something for you.
I want to do it. I know.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this.
Earth is flat and not round.
We will establish a foundation for an eventual mission to Mars.
Muy buenas a todos, soy Oliver y hoy quería hablaros sobre por qué el gobierno nos oculta la Tierra plana. Mucha gente se pregunta por qué la élite nos miente sobre la forma de la Tierra. ¿Qué ganan ellos con todo esto? Lo primero que hay que entender es que no solo estamos hablando sobre la forma de la Tierra, sino que este tema también abarca otras cuestiones de gran importancia como el funcionamiento del cielo, el Sol, la Luna y las estrellas, nuestra posición en el universo, el origen de la vida y la posible existencia de Dios. Estos misterios siempre han acompañado al ser humano a lo largo de la historia, pero durante los últimos 500 años una élite mundial que gobierna en la sombra ha hecho todo lo posible para suprimir nuestra capacidad de encontrar la respuesta a estos interrogantes. Y lo han hecho de una forma muy eficaz, repitiéndonos ciertas teorías una y otra vez desde una temprana edad a través del sistema educativo y los medios de comunicación. David Wardlaw Scott, en su libro Terra Firma, escribió: a través de los libros de geografía se les enseña a los niños que la Tierra es un globo gigante girando alrededor del Sol, cuando todavía son demasiado pequeños para entender correctamente el significado de tales cosas. La historia se les repite continuamente año tras año hasta que alcanzan la madurez, momento en el cual están tan distraídos con otros asuntos que no les importa si lo que les han enseñado es cierto o no, y como no ven a nadie contradecir tales enseñanzas, asumen que son ciertas. Aceptan una teoría que, de haberla conocido a los 18 años de edad, hubieran rechazado rotundamente. Las consecuencias de una mala enseñanza son mucho más desastrosas de lo que se pueda imaginar, especialmente en una sociedad ignorante y libertina como la nuestra. El intelecto se vuelve débil y la conciencia atrofiada. Las antiguas civilizaciones, la Biblia, los experimentos científicos y nuestros propios sentidos nos indican que vivimos en un plano inmóvil situado en el centro del universo, con el Sol, la Luna y las estrellas girando alrededor nuestro en el firmamento. Bajo esta cosmovisión, la Tierra es un sistema cerrado del que es físicamente imposible salir, y por lo tanto nuestro mundo es lo único que existe. Esto evidentemente otorga una gran importancia a la Tierra y a sus habitantes, especialmente a nosotros los humanos, los seres más inteligentes de toda la creación. Por el contrario, la élite masónica lleva 500 años adoctrinando al mundo con una cosmovisión muy diferente. Han transformado la Tierra en un globo giratorio que orbita alrededor del Sol, perdido por el espacio exterior junto a millones de otros planetas, creados a partir de un Big Bang que surgió de la nada y sin ningún motivo. La Tierra, por tanto, se vuelve insignificante y el ser humano se convierte en un simple accidente evolutivo, sin propósito alguno y condenado a perecer irremediablemente junto a todo el universo sin que nada haya importado. En esta cosmovisión nihilista, materialista y atea, la existencia de Dios se vuelve altamente improbable. El heliocentrismo, la evolución y el Big Bang ofrecen una versión de la realidad totalmente opuesta a la descrita en la Biblia. Al creer en estas teorías, el capítulo de Génesis deja de tener sentido, e incluso los creyentes lo interpretan como algo metafórico, cuando en realidad es literalmente cierto. Salmos 19:1 dice: los cielos proclaman la gloria de Dios y el firmamento anuncia las obras de sus manos. Esto quiere decir que el cielo y las luminarias son un testimonio directo de la existencia de Dios. Solo hace falta hacer zoom en una estrella para ver que efectivamente se trata de un ser luminoso en la bóveda celeste y no de un sol a trillones de kilómetros de distancia como nos quiere hacer creer la NASA. La Tierra plana y todo lo que ello implica es una prueba directa y observable de que la Biblia es literalmente cierta, y por tanto que Dios existe. Es por esto mismo que nos han engañado durante los últimos 500 años, para ocultar la existencia de Dios. ¿Por qué nos quieren ocultar la existencia de Dios? Para entender la respuesta a esta pregunta tenemos que conocer lo que piensan estas personas que gobiernan en la sombra y ver cómo actúan. Al examinar el origen de todas estas teorías científicas modernas, encontramos un patrón. Vemos que los autores de todas ellas estaban relacionados de una manera u otra con la masonería, una sociedad secreta que tiene sus orígenes en las antiguas religiones ocultistas del misterio de la antigua
Focus Tour, WW Weight Watchers Reimagined, and I join forces to bring you candid conversations with some of the world's most famous trailblazers, whose story of wellness will empower you. One of the things I wanted to do, channel their fame, do well.
And so what we do is we do research. Is I want a mental health professional.
Indeed. Lady Gaga gave up her vacation.
Okay, we have all seen these images before. I'm sure we've all seen them. See this very hodgepodge of things, frames and different materials and whatnot. Here's Buzz Aldrin leaving, backing out of the Apollo 11 lunar excursion module. We've seen the cardboard and whatnot, and here again different angle. So between these two pictures, just to point out, between this photo and this one, Neil Armstrong must have moved across and said, wait, let me go and capture it from this angle. And then moved again and capture it from this angle. Brilliant. So this is the Apollo 11 lunar lander, lunar excursion module. Okay, that's what this is. Some people think the cardboard and mylar sheets are thermal shielding. Now, it might surprise you to know that this is what people thought was going to the moon. You see this thing that looks like it's been built by engineers? This? Notice the lack of brackets and frames. There's frames around the legs and frames around these jets. That's it. No extra frames. So let's now go back and look at all the extra frames. Let's see. Frames all over the place. Look at this. Frames attached to these frames. So let's see. Frames not attached to these frames. See? Do you see how these frames are not attached to these frames by broom handles? See?
In 2014, we launched about 33 of them, all out from the space station.
In 2014, we launched about 33 of them, all out from the space station.
There's a lot of awe-inspiring and fantastic moments, and the first one is when you see the International Space Station.
The colors, I mean, the sun hitting the solar panels, to just have this thing glow like it's in a campfire, you know, it's just incredible to see that.
Christopher Reddy cried out, not in fear, but with many online commentators claiming that it is a...
Does that make sense? We're gonna have a space force.
Yeah, and we know how important being cool is, right?
We have the Air Force, we have the Space Force, we have the Army, the Navy.
And I'm only let the world know about 2 of those things. He say, the guy had boom, 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 boom. At the funny points, you either laugh or you don't laugh. We actually had people call in the office, long people. The Earth is not round; it's flat.
Shaq, thank you so much,
man.
man.
Buddy. Appreciate it.
This has been awesome.
All right, thank you.
Katrina and Megan Batur from Montreal asked, "Hi, Chris. Hello. How do you clean up a mess in space?" Good question, because it's not going to fall on the floor. It's not going to fly up into the air. It's just going to float around until it runs into something. So let's make a little mess. Let's squirt some water as if it got away here. So those little drops are kind of departing, and then I've got a ball of water here just floating around. Got to clean it up. What am I going to do? So you look for a dry rag. You grab a rag. And we could grab a Russian rag. Here's a nice Russian rag. Here, get it out. My ball of water is still just floating there, fortunately. When we get to space, there's no gravity to pull all the stuff out of our head. And so we get sort of a swollen head. I can fly, I can go all different directions, I can... Pour la santé des astronautes, pour moi, c'est parfait.
Hi, my name is Katrina.
Nassholes, I call them.
So I don't really know what's going on right now with this Earth is flat thing. And it's not okay to think that the Earth is flat.
If you want to think the world is flat, go right ahead.
And it's not okay to think that the Earth is flat.
Go right ahead.
That's a hard thing for me to even start talking about because there are so many proofs that the Earth is round, it's difficult to know where to start.
Go right ahead.
Is to think about...
You can and should think...
Now, another way that you can tell that we're on a sphere is to think about...
You can and should think whatever you want, whatever you want.
How there's something called the tropics on the Earth. And the tropics are places near the equator of the Earth where sometimes the sun is overhead in the sky. And this was actually something that the Greeks used not only to prove...
Whatever you want.
2,000 years ago.
Whatever you want.
2,000 years ago.
Whatever you want.
Probably indicative of us being on a curved surface.
You see this curvature of Earth's surface, and you say, wow, he's in space, look at that.
And you could make all kinds of measurements, even between those two cities, and see that the angles were different. The sun was at a different place in the sky. Using this, he actually measured the circumference of the Earth, and he got it right 2,000 years ago.
No, he's not.
Right.
2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago.
Go right ahead.
And Eratosthenes noticed that there was a town called Syene, and on a certain date, the sun would actually shine straight down to the bottom of a well, directly overhead. You could look down a well and see the sun shining back at you. And on the very same date, farther away in the city of Alexandria, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
The sun was not directly overhead, it was a slight angle.
Whatever you want.
As I was talking to the folks from Sempra, they were explaining that this location is almost optimal for solar power generation. Not only because it's flat, transmission lines were already here, the sun is traveling and there's no haze and it's absolutely clear, and so this is an extraordinary opportunity for the community. If some of these folks were around when Columbus set sail,
that didn't happen.
These guys were around when Columbus set sail.
That didn't happen.
They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society.
That didn't happen.
They'd be charter members of the Flat Earth Society.
That didn't happen.
And space is completely empty.
Everybody knows the Earth is a sphere, right?
Space is completely empty.
Everybody knows that. I've seen the pictures. Right?
Space,
or a geoid, very close to a sphere,
is completely empty.
Whatever you want.
An emptiness that you can't wrap your mind around. It has no atmosphere, it has nothing. It is the absence of everything.
It's not okay.
Whatever you want.
It can actually show you the shape of the Earth.
Go right ahead.
You know, with binoculars, you can see planets. You can see Saturn and Jupiter. You can see Mars with a telescope, the sun, the moon, everything else we see in the solar system is a sphere. So we're the one thing that is different. You know, and that actually made somebody who was more interested in actually hearing information. That actually got them to think. They're like, you're right. You know, everything else we take a picture of is a sphere.
Years ago. 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago.
Whatever you want.
Singing in the shower, in the car, to the hairbrush.
Painting planet Earth when many thought that the Earth was still flat.
So it represents to me the promise of the future and enlightenment. And it's representational of your view here as well. I wanted to give you this book as a gift.
Rich guys like rockets and so do the babes. So rich guys making rockets. So do the lanes. Some rich guys making rockets just to try to get laid. Some rich guys make rockets and so do the lanes. Some rich guys making rockets and put a car up in space just to get laid. Yeah, just to get laid. Just to get laid. Just to get laid. Just to get laid. Rich guys like rockets and so do the babes. Some rich guys making rockets and so do the lanes. Now Donald Trump says something, said you gotta pay. Yeah, you gotta pay. You gotta pay. You gotta pay. You gotta pay. guys like rockets, and so do the babes. Some rich guys making rockets just to get laid, 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 just to get laid. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in, man. I'm gonna cut it out. You know, and we got show us the straight way. We live those of whom God bestowed thy grace, whose portion is not wrath, and who go not astray. Peace to everybody. I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.
Then transfer back to the command module, rejoining their comrade who remained on board the orbiting spacecraft. The LEM will be separated and left behind in lunar orbit.
Let's not forget that. All of the LEMs were left orbiting the moon.
As the other two modules carrying the crew and supplies return to Earth using the engine of the service module. Shortly before re-entry, the service module will be jettisoned, leaving the command module free to reorient for the trip through the atmosphere. 3 parachutes will lower the Apollo spacecraft to the Earth at 15 miles per hour.
This is the LEM automatic checkout equipment area. This equipment is connected to the LEM and is used to conduct the various tests during the development phase and will also be used in pre-launch operations at Cape Kennedy.
You mean this can actually make measurements automatically and decide whether they're right?
Yes, it's a computer control system that stores test commands for the spacecraft and then compares the answers to determine whether the spacecraft has passed the test or not.
So you don't have those men in their white coats wearing...
What does this button do? Oh, it lights up those lights. I'm glad that's working.
Capable system in that it can handle some 4,000 to 5,000 test sequences. It can measure several hundred individual measurements at once or sample something like 25,000 measurements per second.
It's really more than humanly possible. Is that the idea?
Yes, it decreases the time required for the whole checkout operation greatly.
Well, now, if you need all this equipment to check out the LEM, what must you need for the whole Apollo mission?
Well, you don't need very much more at Cape Kennedy for the complete complex of the Saturn booster and the command and service modules. That's because each portion of the ACE equipment is computerized and modularized so that it can all go together at Cape Kennedy in a very efficient fashion.
Could we actually see how it makes some of these measurements?
Yes, we can take a look here at the test conductor's console. You see the individual operators at the various consoles have equipment very similar to this test conductor display we show here.
I was wondering why there were so many operators if this is automatic checkout equipment.
Well, they're used during the development phase of the program where we're going into considerable detail on individual tests.
Do these lights work? Yes. Do these? Yes.
At Cape Kennedy. Now what we have on each console is a cathode ray tube display of the so-called test library. We can turn pages in the test library by turning this wheel.
You might notice that hasn't actually...
The LP's called The Flat Earth. You've been recording it in Belgium, which seems a rather unglamorous location.
Up in Brussels and said,
In the face of overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option.
Got cut off there. What were you saying? Oh, no. Maybe the Geico's been proudly serving the military for over 75 years? Is that what you wanted to say? Mm-hmm. TV.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
You okay back there, buddy?
Penetrate the hull.
All right, Isaac, head back to the shuttle, contact the Orville, tell them we're going to take a look around. We'll check back in 3 hours.
Aye, sir.
Okay, we'll rendezvous back here at 1300 hours ship start.
The ISS.
Really do seem to be objects there.
These spacecraft are very tiny. It's just this little square that's 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches, and it's about 3 pounds or a kilogram of weight.
To the moon, the ISS.
In 2014, we launched about 33 of them, all out from the space station.
In 2014, we launched about 33 of them, all out from the space station.
There's a lot of awe-inspiring and fantastic moments, and the first one is when you see the International Space Station.
The colors, I mean, the sun hitting the solar panels, to just have this thing glow like it's in a campfire, you know, it's just incredible to see that.
Christopher Reddy cried out, not in fear, but with many online commentators claiming that it is a...
Does that make sense? We're gonna have a space force.
Yeah, and we know how important being cool is, right?
We have the Air Force, we'll have the Space Force, we have the Army, the Navy.
And I'm only let the world know about 2 of those things. He say, the guy had boom, 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 boom. Add the funny points, you either laugh or you don't laugh. We actually had people call in the office, long people, the earth is not round, it's flat.
Shaq, thank you so much,
man.
man.
Buddy. Appreciate it.
This has been awesome.
All right, thank you.
Katrina and Megan Batur from Montreal asked, "Hi, Chris. Hello. How do you clean up a mess in space?" Good question, because it's not going to fall on the floor. It's not going to fly up into the air. It's just going to float around until it runs into something. So let's make a little mess. Let's squirt some water as if it got away here. So those little drops are kind of departing, and then I've got a ball of water here just floating around. Got to clean it up. What am I going to do? So you look for a dry rag. You grab a rag. And we could grab a Russian rag. Here's a nice Russian rag. Here, get it out. My ball of water is still just floating there, fortunately. When we get to space, there's no gravity to pull all the stuff out of our head. And so we get sort of a swollen head. I can fly, I can go all different directions, I can... Et pour la santé des astronautes, pour moi, c'est parfait.
Hi, my name is Katrina.
Nassholes, I call them.
So I don't really know what's going on right now with this Earth is flat thing. And it's not okay to think that the Earth is flat.
If you want to think the world is flat, go right ahead.
And it's not okay to think that the Earth is flat.
Go right ahead.
That's a hard thing for me to even start talking about because there are so many proofs that the Earth is round, it's difficult to know where to start.
Go right ahead.
Is to think about...
You can and should think...
Now, another way that you can tell that we're on a sphere is to think about...
You can and should think whatever you want, whatever you want.
How there's something called the tropics on the Earth. And the tropics are places near the equator of the Earth where sometimes the sun is overhead in the sky. And this was actually something that the Greeks used not only to prove...
Whatever you want.
2,000 years ago.
Whatever you want.
2,000 years ago.
Whatever you want.
Probably indicative of us being on a curved surface.
You see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, wow, he's in space, look at that.
And you could make all kinds of measurements, even between those two cities, and see that the angles were different. The sun was at a different place in the sky. Using this, he actually measured the circumference of the Earth, and he got it right 2,000 years ago.
No, he's not.
Right.
2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago.
Go right ahead.
And Eratosthenes noticed that there was a town called Syene, and on a certain date, the sun would actually shine straight down to the bottom of a well, directly overhead. You could look down a well and see the sun shining back at you. And on the very same date, farther away in the city of Alexandria, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
The sun was not directly overhead. It was a slight angle.
Whatever you want.
As I was talking to the folks from Sempra, they were explaining that this location is almost optimal for solar power generation. Not only because it's flat, transmission lines were already here, the sun is traveling, and there's no haze, and it's absolutely clear, and so this is an extraordinary opportunity for the community. If some of these folks were around when Columbus set sail,
that didn't happen.
These guys were around when Columbus set sail.
That didn't happen.
They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society.
That didn't happen.
They'd be charter members of the Flat Earth Society.
That didn't happen.
And space is completely empty.
Everybody knows the Earth is a sphere, right?
Space is completely empty.
Everybody knows that. I've seen the pictures. Right.
Space,
or a geoid, very close to a sphere,
is completely empty.
Whatever you want.
An emptiness that you can't wrap your mind around. It has no atmosphere, it has nothing. It is the absence of everything.
It's not okay.
Whatever you want.
It can actually show you the shape of the Earth.
Go right ahead.
You know, with binoculars, you can see planets. You can see Saturn and Jupiter. You can see Mars with a telescope, the sun, the moon, everything else we see in the solar system is a sphere. So we're the one thing that is different. You know, and that actually made somebody who was more interested in actually hearing information. That actually got them to think. They're like, you're right. You know, everything else we take a picture of is a sphere.
$2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago.
Whatever you want.
Singing in the shower, in the car, to the hairbrush. Here we go. We started out down a dirty road. We started out all alone. And the sun went down as across the hill, and the town lit up